It's better to pray for one person and talk about Jesus to them than just praying for 10 people and not saying anything. Welcome back, guys, to another video. Today I'm going to be going over how is God always with me, but yet I always feel alone. And this video goes to those who really know that God is there, but yet just don't feel the sensation, the knowing that He's around you in your bedroom, at work, wherever you are. You just don't feel anything, or you don't hear anything either when you ask Him a question, or when you're wondering why this is going on in your life, but He's not saying anything. So one thing I do want to let you guys know is that God is never silent. He is very talkative, and He always answers your questions. He always wants to talk. He is such a talker. He really wants to have that relationship with you. Once you really love God, He is always going to talk to you. And whether you love Him or not, atheists have heard God before, and then they converted to Christianity. God is always speaking to people, and He always will. And He never leaves His children in the dark without an answer. There is always an answer, and He's always talking. But the thing is are you attentive to His voice, or is the voice of evil the one that's louder? You see, we choose which voice we get to listen to and how it impacts our life. When God tells us that He will never leave us nor forsake us, He's a man of His word, and He hasn't. He loves His kids. But Satan wants you to think that He's not saying anything to you, He's completely forgotten about you, and that you're not going to have that sensation that God is there with you, like other people say. It's just never going to happen to you because you're different. God's never going to do that to you. Let me know if that's something that you have felt once in your life, or even still to this day, that Satan is saying those lies to you, that you're not going to have that same feeling, that same hearing His voice and answer your questions, this and that, like other people do. It'll just never happen. Anything that pulls you away from God, anything that makes you feel alone, anything that makes you feel like God's just not caring about you, is the other voice. So you need to mute that one and completely turn the other one on. And how do you do that? How do you get rid of that lonely feeling? How do you mute that one and turn God's voice a lot louder so that you can never hear Satan's voice ever again? And yeah, I mean never, ever again. Simple answer, really. It's pretty much just making sure that you continue to have that relationship and devote your life to Him. So you can't be in a true relationship. You can't be in a relationship with God without God being your true devotion in life, because it requires both of you at all times. You won't cheat on your husband or your wife. Why? Because you love them too much. She or he is yours. Same with God. You're married to God. You love Him too much for you to go into the world, right? Everything He's done, and they say it's just for fun. It's just that. It's just this. It's just that. And that's why feeling alone, He's always with His kids. Always, always, always. The feeling and the sensations just come from just living it so much and just being all of that. Because when you are a living spiritual being, when you completely are living in that spirit, right? You completely let go of yourself to where you are now living in the spirit, to where you feel spiritual presence, just like that. And when you're living that too, you'll hear the spiritual voice of God answering your questions, talking to you, loving on you, and just speaking to you in your dreams, in visions, or even when you're at work. There are many times when Christians think they heard something from God, but it's actually just their head coming up with a scenario or an answer or something. Because when people want something, they want an answer so bad, so then their mind comes up with the answer, and they just think it's God. It happens more than you think. There's a difference between His voice and your voice, because when it's your mind, you'll second think yourself, and when it's His, you'll know. You see, when I hear God, I know, because it's not like I'm thinking, was that Him or was that me? When you hear Him, you won't second think it. You'll know, oh, He just said something. You can't do something alone when it was meant for you and God. Being in a relationship is all about loving God so much. And It's a very simple answer, but it's very important that you know how to remove loneliness, how to remove ever having that feeling like you just have nobody, right? How do you just remove that and just make God your priority to where you don't care about how many friends you have, trying to do different things out in the world to make sure that you just don't die alone, or you just want to be cared for. God's going to be there, and he's going to make sure that when you're a part of his family, he knows the desires of your heart, and he will make sure that you get those things when they are good and when you're humble and when they glorify him, because everything we do in our life should glorify God no matter what it is. That is exactly how you remove loneliness in your life, is by devoting your life to him. No more listening to Satan. When you feel or you hear a voice saying that you're alone, or that you'll just never have friends because you're just different than this and that, you're not part of the group or this, whatever, any voice that is just putting you down, it's always from evil. And I don't want you to listen to that voice, because all it's going to do is damage you and put you more down in the dirt. So I encourage you to be in constant prayer, because prayer is a very super important thing. Now, people underestimate prayer. Now, a lot of people just use prayer for healing people. It's usually one of the biggest things, right? But it's better to pray for one person and talk about Jesus to them than just praying for 10 people and not saying anything. It's all about spreading love. It's all about spreading the gospel to other people, not just praying to people and then letting them go do other things, because nothing's ever going to happen. Trust me. The point of healing and prayer is for them to see what just happened visually, and then you speaking about God, of what he just did, how much he loves you, why he did that for you right now. Prayer is much, much more than just praying for people, or just praying for your meal, or just saying your good night prayer and good morning prayer. Of course, good morning prayers is super crucial, but prayer in general, as in just talking to him, just communicating with him, just loving on him, just praying because just you want to, not because you want an incentive, you want something back, you want this, you want that. But I want you to count how many prayers that you pray in a day, not because there was any goal in mind, but just the desire to talk with him. Because if we go to him for absolutely nothing, we just go to him because we love him just like that, we just want to just devote our lives to him. Hey, I just want to tell you I love you today, and I thank you for everything you've ever done in my life. I have such an amazing job. I have an amazing best friend. I'm just so blessed every single day. You know, whatever it is, you're just glorifying him no matter what, because you're just so full of love, so full of life. You won't ever feel alone ever again. Trust me, you really won't. I never really had that many friends growing up, but I never feel alone. I never feel like, God's not going to be there for me, because I know he will be. So I know that when I built this relationship with God, that it really packed a punch. Like, it really told me I'm never alone. And it's not just a quote, it's not just a saying, but I feel like there's always something here. But yes, it is very important to find some really good Christian friends to encourage you, because definitely if one falls, the other one can pick you up. It's very important that we have good friends, of course, but I want you to know that it's not the goal in life. It's not like the most important thing. But do your relationship with God, and God will take care of the rest. Don't ever worry about anything else. There's no need for worrying. Let God do what he needs to do. Just love on him. He will give you the friends that you need. He will give you the partner that you need in your life. He will give you the job that you want. He will give you this. He will give you that. And he's always, he knows what's best for you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope this video helped you out on not feeling alone, and just making known that God's going to be there no matter what Satan says to you, and that God's voice can be a lot louder than Satan's. It just depends on which voice we're attentive to. And be sure to check out my Messenger Music. That channel is growing so fast, even faster than this one by triple the amount. And of course, my Messenger Plus, which is pretty much just like different videos that this main channel does not have. So if you're wanting more Messenger, then you can go to Messenger Plus and get more out of it. And of course, if you want more and more, you can go check out Instagram or TikTok, where TikTok is blowing up and getting over, I think we got like 35,000 views, or no, 40,000 I think, in a single day. I was super blessed. I thank y'all for supporting everything that I do. It really does help me out. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Be sure to like and subscribe on this video if it helped you. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Messenger out.